Welcome to IComparable Part 2. Thanks for coming back. And if you remember, in Part 1, we created our form, 2 buttons, and a list box 1. Then in our code behind on button 1, because we want to sort integers, we created a little array of integers, okay, and it's called my numbers. And we're just going to sort that, and we're going to loop through and populate our list box. So we will run this. So we'll kick it off. We'll wait for just a moment for it to clear its head, and we will click Sort Ints, and notice it went and grabbed them, and it has ordered them, 5, 8, 9, 15, 23. So everything is just fine when we try to sort integers. Why? Because in the background, we're going to find out it is actually calling the IComparable interface. It's calling the compare2 method and taking care of that. Why? Because the integer data type takes care of that. Okay, now notice we did a variable here. We could have put integer to make it a little easier to understand, but it figured that out, and these are integers. Okay, so let's go back out here and let's sort some objects now. And so on button 2, I want to call list box 1 items, and we're going to clear that so that we don't have to look at those when we run it again. That'll make sense later if it doesn't already. And we're going to create an instance of class 1. Okay? And you say, well, wait a minute, we don't have a class 1. And you would be right. So let's go out to the Solution Explorer, right click, and we're going to add a new class, and we'll just let it default out to class 1. We'll take that, no problem there. And we're going to cheat just a little bit here. This is going to be sloppy. Don't yell at me. Don't yell at your monitor. You are reading correctly. We're going to pass in an integer value. Now this would be a property, but I want to write the least amount of code here. This is not what you want to do in real life. That should have been a field, and it should have been managed in a property. But for now, we just got one simple line of code here. So what we're going to do is we're going to create an instance of this class. We're actually going to create a collection of these classes, and then we're going to, or an array of these classes, and we're going to have each particular object with a different integer value, and then we're going to try to sort our objects, and we're going to see what array sort does with that. So now let's go back to our code, and now we can call class 1, and we're going to create an array of class objects, and we're going to call that MC is going to be the name of the array, and we're going to set it equal to a new class 1. Okay. And oh, actually, we want to put 5 in there. And again, the ability to type and talk at the same time would be tremendous, right? So here we go. We're creating our array called MC, and it's going to have 5 members in it. All right. Now I'm going to write one out first. We're going to call MC, and the first member is going to be equal to new class 1. Right, and we are going to set MC equal to, we're going to call the value, we're going to set the value equal to 5. Okay, now we can just go right on down through here doing this, right? Or I could copy them in so you don't have to watch me type all that. All right, so I will do that now. I'll just go out here. I will copy these in. I'll come right here, and I'll paste them, and you see that we've done this basically 5 times. We started numbering at 0, and then we went up to 4 here. All right. Now, some of you are saying, wait a minute, dude, you didn't have to do all that. You could have done a for loop and looped through there and created those, and you would be absolutely right in that. And I could have done something like this. Let me just drop it in here so you can see it. We could have done this code. It would have done the same thing as all of that, and we could have just left this out. But for now, I am going to basically just comment this out you can come back and play with it later. But the bottom line is we've created an array. These are the values. We have 5 objects in our arrays, objects 0 through 4, and we have set the value property is what it would be. It's just a public integer right now, kind of sloppy but simple. We have set these properties to this, or these values. Now, we just simply want to call array.sort, right? And we want to tell it to sort MC. Okay, now if we execute this and we hit button 1, no big problem. It sorts the arrays. It sorts the integers, no problem. But when we start to sort the objects, it kind of sits there for a minute. I clicked on it. It's going to sit there for a moment, and it's going to say, got a little problem here, dude. Array sort. I failed to compare 2 elements in the array, and it will tell you if you look in the documentation that it will throw this exception. Okay, what's going on here is down in the underbelly of what's going on in the array sort method, they are looking for that compare to method. And guess what? It's not finding it, so it's not getting the compare to value. So what are we going to do with that? Well, to correct this problem, we're going to go out to our class and we're going to inherit from IComparable and satisfy that. So we're going to end part 2 here. Join me in part 3 and we'll get this thing working.